Hello, and welcome back to the Blogger Genius podcast. I'm your host, Jillian Leslie, founder of Milo Tree. If you haven't heard, Milo Tree is your all-in-one suite for growing your online business. It includes Milo Tree Cart, the easiest way to sell digital products in under 5 minutes, Milo Tree Leads, which allows you to collect email subscribers by offering unlimited freebies, and the Milo Tree pop-up app for boosting your social media followers. I'm excited to announce that we've just launched Milo Tree Leads exclusively to our Milo Tree Cart Lifetime Deal VIPs at an incredibly low monthly price. If you're a VIP, you should have already received an email from me with details on how to sign up. But hurry, before we roll out Milo Tree Cart and Milo Tree Leads as a subscription service, you can still grab Milo Tree Cart for our lifetime deal of $349 and get Milo Tree Leads for an unbelievably low price if you purchase now. This offer won't last, so head to milotree.com, sign up today. You even get a bonus 1-hour coaching call. Plus, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk. Again, head to milotree.com and sign up. Now, on to today's episode. I am thrilled to be joined by Tammy Overhoff from Reset and Flourish. Tammy is a seasoned food blogger. She started her journey in 2011 with her food blog called Organize Yourself Skinny, focusing on meal prep and freezer prep for healthier living. Today, she shares how she ventured into selling digital products. We're talking years ago, and she found success through testing, repurposing her existing content, and taking risks. Tammy also believes she hasn't been affected by Google's recent algorithm updates because in addition to being a blogger, creating content, and monetizing via ads, she also sells a whole host of products. Tammy shares all about her funnels, how she successfully uses tripwires where she gives away a freebie and then sells on the thank you page and runs Facebook ads to this. She talks about how she thinks about creating new products and why this is the best time for every food blogger to start selling digital products if they want to stay in it for the long term. So without further delay, here is my interview with Tammy Overhoff. Tammy, welcome to the Blogger Genius podcast.
Hey, Jillian, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to talking with you all week, so I can't wait to dive into digital products.
Awesome. Okay, so you reached out to me and you said, hey, I just want you to know digital products saved my business. And can you explain why you reached out to me and how this has been the case for you?
Okay, so it's a pretty long story, so I'm definitely going to keep it short, concise, to the point. Feel free to ask me to clarify on anything. But I've been listening to your podcast for a long time. And over the last, I would say you've always talked about digital products, but I think given the landscape of how the internet is going right now and blogging and all of that, digital products are just something that people like you and I are just talking more about because it's just so important as you're moving forward with monetizing your business to really take digital products seriously. So as I listen to your podcast, I know that you also work with food bloggers, and I am a food blogger. My blog is Organize Yourself Skinny, and I also run the Reset and Flourish brand, which includes the Reset and Flourish shop, and I have a membership, and I sell digital products and all of that. And so as I listen to you talk on your podcast, I just thought to myself, I really want to talk to Jillian about my story because I am a food blogger. Digital products honestly have saved my business. I've been blogging since 2011. I have seen all there is to see as a food blogger with over a decade of experience. And I also now work with food bloggers, helping them repurpose their content into digital products. So I was like, I'm just going to send her an email. I think me and her could probably be new besties because we are definitely on the same page. And I think it's a really, really important message, specifically for food bloggers, because that's my expertise. But I just think content creators in general really need to take seriously pivoting their business to focus on digital products, because I truly believe that if they don't do this, they are just going to continue to struggle, and it's just going to be really hard. I think the online business owners that are going to truly survive moving forward are going to be the ones that take digital products very seriously in their business, not just an afterthought or something they're going to get to someday, or waiting for that algorithm hit to happen or the cookies to go away to take it seriously. I think the time is definitely to take it seriously right now. Get your product developed, start working on that digital product strategy so you can have that new income stream coming in. So when something does happen, because it will happen, you're ready, and now you're not functioning in desperation mode, trying to work to get something created while you're super stressed out about your business declining rapidly because of an algorithm update. And the reason why I can say that, and I guess going back to my story and how I have gotten to this place in my business. So like I said, I started my business in 2011, and I just started that just like pretty much any other food blogger back then, or blogger in general. You had experiences, a passion. I lost a bunch of weight. I did it through organizing my weight loss, through meal prep, freezer prep, started talking about it with friends, family, decided to start a blog. People absolutely loved talking about meal prep and freezer prep, which is, always blows my mind, because even over a decade later, I'm still talking about that, and people just, they love having conversations around that. So now, back at that time, advertising was not what it is right now. So back in 2011, Raptive wasn't even a thing. Pinterest wasn't even a thing. Instagram wasn't even a thing. Mediavine definitely wasn't a thing. So to make money at that point as a blogger, digital products, that was an option, building
Mm,
your community, having digital products. I listened a lot back then to Pat Flynn, and he was very big on digital products at that point. And that's really how if you wanted to build a business, that's what you did.
right.
And so in 2012, it was like 2012 or 2013, I created my first digital product, and that was a monthly meal plan slash habit challenge slash exercise challenge. And I worked with one of my friends who was a physical trainer in my area, and she helped me put all that together.
So wait. I want to stop you for a second.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
was this something like a PDF that you delivered
Yes.
monthly?
Well, this was like kind of my first challenge. Well, first success slash challenge. So when I created that, I literally just typed it into a Word document and saved it as a PDF. And I sold it through a PayPal link in my blog post. I used to do a weekly meal plan blog post on my blog, and then I would just share it on Facebook. And when I first put that out to my audience, and I sold it in my email list. So my email list at that time, I mean, it probably had like maybe 3,000, 4,000 people. That made $1,000 in a month, which,
Were you
that to
shocked?
me, of course, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, wow. I mean, that validated it for me, where I was like, okay, obviously this is something my audience wants. I got great feedback on it. And I was like, okay, well, I can make more of these. So every month for 4 months, I created that same type of package, and I sold it, and it made $1,000 each month, or maybe $1,500. And I split it with my friend who was helping me with it. So, but the problem was, and what I learned later on, so this was definitely a challenge for me at that point. The problem is I didn't have a system in place to keep that like momentum going, to keep the creation process of that digital product going, or the sales funnel, or bringing in those like consistent email leads. So I kind of didn't know what to do with it. And what I should have done at that point is just sold the same meal plans all the time and just had them on my blog selling them. But that was in 2012, 2013. In 2020, those actually resurrected. I found them in my Google Drive, took them out, spruced them up, and made them part of a bundle with my Organize Yourself Skinny ebook that I ended up creating in 2015. So I could talk as I go through the process, I can talk more about just my start of really, well, not really my start, but one of the ways I repurposed my, a product that I already created. And now I still continue to sell that to this day. So I kind of stopped selling that just because I didn't have a system in place. And then in 2014, I decided to start writing my first ebook. And that was called, well, and still called Organize Yourself Skinny. And in that ebook, I just went through all of my strategies that I've used to just lose weight, accountability, meal prep, all this stuff. And I launched that in 2015, the January of 2015, and that made like $5,000. And I was selling it for like $10. So I definitely was like, okay, this is awesome. And I started to really see the benefit of one, packaging your knowledge and selling it to your audience and just, really meeting their needs in that way. And so
I'm going to stop you there for a
you know,
second. One thing that you're sharing with me, as I share all the time, I get on tons of calls with bloggers,
mhm,
and you definitely follow this pattern of people that I see, especially people who kind of stumbled into this, which
mhm,
is it's like a scattershot strategy. Like, whoa, I did this, it worked. Okay, I'll sell it for a while. I'll get kind of bored. I'll forget about it in my Google Drive. Hey, I'll go write an ebook. Oh, look, I sell that,
mhm,
and that's the shiny new thing. And that kind of works. Hey, maybe I could package these together. What you
mhm.
said is like you didn't have this overall strategy because it was a little bit like, oh my God, I found this like pile of money right here. I'm going to milk that. And then, okay,
Yes.
when that and then because we're food bloggers and therefore it's like there's so much to do.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'm going to
Yeah.
grow my page views so I can get into to Raptive or media, like we get distracted. And so like you, it's like, oh, this little pile of money over here. Okay, great. Now I'll chase this other little pile of money, whether that be ads, sponsorships, whatever. And so what it sounds like is you just kind of discovered stuff that worked, but yet over time now you've thought about it as an overall strategy. But when you were getting into it, it was just kind of, I don't know, good luck.
Yeah. Definitely 100%. And what's interesting with that ebook I created, I should also mention before I put that ebook together, that was also repurposed content. So I had a blog series because back in the day, that was kind of the thing. You put together a blog series. So I put a blog series on together on my weight loss. I created an email opt-in series on about my weight loss. And people just really responded to that positively. And I got a lot of great feedback. So I took that and repurposed that into an ebook and I expanded on it, added, checklists and all the stuff that you would put in it. And then, yeah, I sold that. So that was 2015. And you're so right, because 2015 is when I got into Ad Thrive. And from there, because of my page views, I mean, I've always made since I got into Ad Thrive, my business has always made at least six figures off of advertising, which is a pretty substantial amount, obviously. So while I continued with the digital products, I have this other pot of money that was pretty lucrative that I needed to worry about. And also, like you said, there's just so much for food bloggers to do. So I'm creating recipes and photographing and doing everything. But one of the things I did differently than I think maybe a lot of food bloggers, especially nowadays, is I was following a lot of digital marketers. So not only was I learning about food blogging, but now I was interested in the digital product world. And I was learning about more about ebook creation and even course creation and membership creation. So in 2017, I took my Organize Yourself Skinny ebook and I expanded that into a course,
Mm.
basic Organize Yourself Skinny e-course. That course brought in $200,000 and I sold it for $63. So, but the problem was, now that was over like 18 months. So that wasn't like a launch. But still $200,000 in 18 months, like that was, and not only that, and this is what I realized at that time. And what I realize now, and I guess my second challenge that I had to deal with, I realized the importance of having a nurtured email list because
Mm.
up until that point, I was only selling my ebook, but I was just emailing my audience on a regular basis. There was no real strategy. I was just talking to them like a friend. I was just always just sending out emails. And when I was ready to sell it, they bought it. And that first launch brought in like $18,000 in 10 days. And I was like, okay. And then I just kept building my community but my challenge was the reason I didn't see the consistent $18,000 launches is because I wasn't bringing in the consistent leads
Exactly.
into,
There
yes.
are two things that I think people don't realize. One,
Hmm.
like you ultimately, like let's say you even have a list of 20,000 people. At
Hmm.
some point, if you keep going to them with the same offer,
Yes.
buy my course, you burn out your list. They're like,
100%.
enough, Tammy, like I bought it, or I'm not
Yes.
into this, or whatever. So the
Mhm.
thinking, I think that this is where people hit a wall where they say, I went to my list, it sold. This is where I think people get in trouble with courses because they
Mhm.
spend so much time building the course. And let's say again, they got 20,000 people to sell it to. You better believe they're going to have a great launch or they're going to have a great
Mhm.
18 months. But at a certain point, you've captured the majority of people who are going to buy your course.
Mhm.
So now you're like, oh my God, that course took so much work. What else? What other course can I make? And it becomes this kind of law of diminishing returns. Therefore,
Yes.
what you said is so right. There are two strategies that I recommend. One, you continue to go out and replenish your list. You're always growing your list. So you always have those fresh people. And two, you think about what else can I sell to the people
Mhm.
who are already buying from me? If they bought one thing from you and you delivered, they will buy your next thing, which is why, again, I talk about having a digital product strategy where
Yes.
you are taking them on a journey. And
Mhm.
ultimately, this is why I share the money ultimately is in the membership because I sell to you once, but I'm making money from you month after month after month because I'm providing you with new resources, more support, a community. And so if you think about it that way, that's how digital products ultimately, that's where I see people have the most success.
Yes. I also have a membership, so I have experience with that as well. And my experience has been that and how I do it now. And I totally agree with you. So you bring them in through that freebie and then you get them to purchase a smaller offer. And that this is how, because back in the day when I made all that money off the course, I already had this hot lead, a hot email list. So hot leads in my email list. They were ready to buy. That, like you said, a diminishing return. The people who were going to buy, they bought. I wasn't bringing in the emails fast enough to continue with that type of success. So how I do it now is I get people in through that freebie.
What is the freebie? What is the freebie that you're offering? Is it because you also then teach people how to sell digital products? So is which, like what part of your business?
Okay, so I'm talking about my Reset and Flourish side of my business. So the food blogging side of my business. I have a few different freebies. I have a meal prep guide, I have a free class, and then I also will just put together different like recipe. So I'm right now, one of my goals is to create a new digital product on meal starters. So I've been having a freebie on meal starters that I just put together with recipes on my site and some, instructions and stuff like that. So I bring them in, and then they are immediately given the opportunity through a tripwire to purchase my 10-day healthy eating challenges kit.
How does your tripwire perform? Again, this is what we're doing with Milo Tree Leads, where we are enabling you guys to offer tripwires.
Well, my tripwire performs really well. So I would say, I should have pulled those numbers, but I would say out of every 100 people, 15 to 20 of them will purchase
Nice.
the tripwire.
And how much is
So
the tripwire? How much is it?
the tripwire is $19, and you can buy it also in my shop for $30. So they're getting an instant discount. I have a timer on my tripwire because you need to have that urgency. And then so if they decide to buy, and I also have tons of testimonials. So I've been selling this product since 2022, which this is technically the product that saved my business, which I can talk more about. And so I've been I get testimonials all the time. So my audience loves this. Then they get the option for an order bump, which is my Reset and Flourish 30-day bundle. And that includes my Organize Yourself Skinny ebook, and then also my 30-day workbook, which includes those meal plans that I created back in 2012 that I spruced up and made into a 30-day workbook. And that sells pretty much every single day. But what I found is, so as far as the membership goes, I have so I used to try to sell my membership as a front end offer. And the membership is my Reset and Flourish planner. And that includes so people who join this get access to all of my recipes, advertising free. It's on a platform. I use the Meal Pro app. It's its own app, and you can set it up. And then they also get access to all my meal prep lessons, which I pulled out of my overall course that I put together. So I was able to, create a mini product with that. And then I have a Facebook group, and I do like monthly workshops. And as a front end offer, it definitely was a major struggle to get people into that. However, when people purchase the 10-day healthy eating challenges kit, I have an entire onboarding sequence for that to walk them through it, show that, just give them that support. And then at the end of that onboarding sequence, they get offered now the Reset and Flourish Planner membership. And it's funny because I didn't actually start doing that till maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I just did it. I was like, I'm going to see what this does. I was blown away. I made like what, $2,000 in 3 days from people joining my membership. And that was but they were already warmed up. They already knew what I had to offer. So how I work things is small product, maybe a bigger product. So I still have my course, and then the membership. But I find for me, and how I advise other food bloggers, like my students, that membership should be a back end offer. Because if you want, yeah, because that reoccurring revenue is also a little bit difficult with the B2C space. Like with the B2B space, like we want that support. We're already used to paying that type of stuff. At least for me and my audience, it definitely was a little bit more of a struggle for that monthly reoccurring cost. So I do things like yearly costs. Like I give them bigger chunks to choose from, like every 3 months or every year, like an annual membership. And that seems to work better for my audience. So I think what it comes down to with digital products is there are a lot of different options. And you do truly have to test things to see how they are going to work for your audience.
You want to start selling digital products. You're thinking about an ebook, but it feels overwhelming. Not anymore. Get my 13 AI ebook prompts to help you write your ebook start to finish in under 3 hours. To grab this, go to milotree.com/ebook prompts. That's EBOOKPROMPTS. Milotree.com ebook prompts. And I can't wait to see what you create. And now back to the show. For a membership, what are they getting, right? So you're giving them a variety of tools, materials, and but they don't know you. So you have to warm up people to say, I want to be closer to Tammy and her stuff. I want access to her stuff and I want access to her, but they don't know you. So I agree with you so much about memberships. The memberships that I see work the best are people who say have a big Facebook following and they go live all the time. So people go, I know you, or they have a podcast, or they've sold. This is what I love. You start with that small product, you earn their trust, they get to know you via email, which I'm going to say is kind of the connective tissue. Like, hey, I'm showing up every week and you get a little piece of me and you understand the value I provide. Ultimately, to get into your membership, like when people say, well, I want to create a course, I'm like, great, but put a membership on the back end of that. Like get them into a membership from the course, because ultimately the course will kind of age. You'll burn your people out, as we've talked about. But if I can get you into my membership at the end, that's where I can really kind of lean in and continue to grow that part and get that recurring revenue. So I agree with you. I think getting like, you don't know me, you're going to join my membership. No way. You have to know me. You have to trust me. You have to think that I am providing you serious value, that this is worth your time and energy, and that you're going to get enough out of it to make it make sense. Absolutely. So I think that your strategy is perfect. And I agree with you. Even, people go, I'll start a membership, I'll run Facebook ads to it. And I'm like, good luck. No, sell them something where they go, oh, this is cool. This is cooler than I thought it would be. This is actually solving my problem. Now I have a bigger problem. Hey, can this person solve my bigger problem?
No, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I know I use Facebook ads all the time, and that was, just to kind of back up a little bit, because I don't want to like get people all confused with my story, because I have been doing this so long. But just to kind of, I guess, go to when I got hit by that Google algorithm update, and then to really
so when
just
did
share.
you share what happened to you?
Oh my gosh. So in November 2019, and just to kind of say, I've never had this huge amount of SEO traffic. I've mostly just like grew my business through community, essentially, like through Facebook and my Facebook group, and Pinterest actually was a huge it's still my top refer. Pinterest, Google direct. So, but I had affiliates that I recommended, my affiliate reviews, that were at the top of many Google searches and were bringing in a pretty large amount of money at that time. And so like at that time, I was making a lot of money with affiliates. I was making a lot of money with advertising revenue. So my digital products were still there. I was running flash sales, but I wasn't giving it the strategy and nurturing that I should have been doing at that time. So anyway, in November 2019, I woke up one day and my traffic was literally pretty much gone. And I was knocked out of the top spots for those affiliates that I was making a lot of money for. So pretty much overnight, I went from making, definitely 60 to 70 grand a year just in affiliate revenue to pretty much zero.
Wow.
And so it was very stressful, as you can imagine. And but instead of at that time diving into building my leads, building my email list, getting back into digital marketing, leaning in on the community that I built over the last 9 years or 8 years, I dove into SEO. And I spent probably 2 years on the SEO hamster wheel of, I hired consultants. I changed my theme. I did A, B, C, D, and E, everything that you hear about that food bloggers talk about as far as SEO goes. And I just kept at it. I kept at the grind. I kept going. And the needle just was not moving forward. Like it would go up a little bit. And I'm sure there are many experts that would look at my blog and be like, well, you need to fix this. You need to fix this. But here's the thing, when you lose money, you lose income. Or when you lose money, you don't have the income to hire the people that you need to hire to help you with these things. So it was all me. So I was doing all of this on my own. So anyway, so November 2019, let's fast forward like 18 months to 2 years later. So at this point, it was March of 2021, 2022, maybe. And of course, we went through the pandemic at that time and all that other stuff. I got hit with another Google algorithm update. And so that was, yeah, so that was definitely like March 2022. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to pivot. I need to do something different because if I don't, I'm over. It's done. My business is done. Because at that time, there's also all this talk about the cookie algorithm or the cookie apocalypse happening and cookies going away with advertising and RPMs dropping. And I'm just thinking to myself, there is no way that my business is going to survive another Google algorithm hit and RPMs dropping because of cookies going away. So at that time, I remember I pivoted and I thought to myself, I have been doing this a long time. I have an amazing audience of people. I already know digital products are a great way to make money. Like, what am I doing? I need to go back to the basics. And I decided at that time that I was going to host a challenge in my Facebook group. So I went into my Facebook group, I hosted a smoothie challenge. I pulled all these smoothie recipes off my blog. I put together this shopping list and everything else. And because I've seen other people do challenges and I'm like, well, I can do a challenge. Let's try this. That challenge completely changed the direction of my business. And it completely reinvigorated me. It reinvigorated my audience. I could not believe how excited everybody was. They're almost like, Tammy, like, where have you been? We've missed you because I've been doing all this, like had my head down behind the computer, stressed out, doing SEO and all this stuff for like pretty much 2 years or maybe even longer. So after I did the smoothie challenge, I decided, well, I'm going to do a mason jar salad challenge because that's one of the recipes I guess I'm kind of known for with my food blog. Well, that was even
So
amazing.
wait,
I
so
mean,
these challenges were for the people in your Facebook group. How many people in your Facebook group?
14,000.
14,000. Just to say, let's get healthy, let's like lose some
Yeah,
weight, that kind of thing. And
let's
people
do,
loved it. Okay. Now,
well,
how are you then making
go.
money off of this?
Okay, so I will tell you, let me just back up really quickly. How I knew to do that challenge, one of the things that sparked that for me was I would always get emails from my audience saying to me, like, I need help eating healthy, I need help losing weight. And I would always just point them right away to my ebook. I would point them to my course, but they're like, well, no, I just want like one thing. I'm not ready for a program yet. So I was like, okay, well, let's start with one habit for 10 days. And then that's what we did. And so I ran these challenges and now to do the challenge, and this is something that I always recommend because I see a lot of food bloggers running these cooking challenges, mostly to just get, at least it seems to me, to just get like comments on the recipe and whatever, but they're not collecting emails. So I ran this challenge in my group. I got their email. Some of them are already signed up, but I put them into my email, got them
How
into,
did you get their email? What were you
I just,
doing?
well, I use lead pages. So I've used lead pages for a long time. And so I just set up a lead form in lead pages and just,
You
sign up
said,
for my,
okay, come to my challenge. You're advertising it in your
yep,
Facebook group. You're like, sign up here.
yes.
Oh,
And
great.
I
And
kept,
by the way, you're going to be able to use Milo Tree leads to do the exact same
yep,
thing. Okay, so go ahead. So
yep.
you
And I
said,
thought
come
that, yep,
join
I
the.
thought that actually when I listened to your podcast the other day, I was like, this is perfect. So people who want to do challenges or collect leads, they just use that. So yeah, so I created that. I put it in my Facebook group. I said, if you guys want to be a part of this challenge, I'm hosting it live in this group but to get all the materials, you
Ooh,
need to
that's
sign up
good.
for my
That's
email.
good. So it's not
Yes.
like it was in a separate private Facebook group. It's in your
No.
regular Facebook group, but get the special stuff by signing up here.
Signing up. Absolutely. So I ran the challenge. And then after the challenge, I did a mini launch of my ebook bundle. So after they finished the launch, or I'm sorry, after they finished the challenge, they had the opportunity to buy my Reset and Flourish 30-day ebook bundle at a discount. And that made like $5,000.
Love it.
So right there, I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like I am going all in on digital products. And so at that point, I took the smoothie challenge, mason jar salad challenge. I went through my blog. I saw that, like I thought to myself, well, what other challenge, like what helped me? Like what other challenges can I put together? I did an overnight oats challenge, and then I did a 10-day healthy eating challenge. And that's when I created my 10-day healthy eating challenges kit. And I launched that in October. And I keep saying $5,000, but I feel like every time I launch something, it's like $5,000. That made $5,000 in the weekend. And I launched that in October of 2022, and it's made close to $100,000. And I sell that on sale for $19. And that's after Facebook ad costs, because I do run ads to um my tripwire, or I run ads to collect leads, and then that's my tripwire, because that's what I pretty much use to pay for Facebook ads, so I can continuously
Right.
like build my
Right.
email
And
list.
by the way, I talk about this strategy that so many people use, which is
Hmm.
run the Facebook ad to something free. People are then like, yeah, I'll get this thing that's free. And then on the thank you page, on the page that once they add their name and email, a page shows up that usually says, hey, thanks for signing up.
Hmm.
And you sell something right there for a discount, which by the way, you can do with Milo Tree card and Milo Tree leads. And
Hmm.
then what people tend to do is take the money that they make from that and put it back into Facebook ads. So literally, they are growing their list for free.
Yep. And so in June of 2022, I also took a Facebook ads course by Beth Ann Schwamberger, who I've been following since 2015, and that also completely changed my business. So that's where I learned how to do that strategy. And not only it covers my ad costs, but there's many times I'm making money. Like my ROAS, my return on ad spend, is 1.5 to 2 every time.
Wow.
Like I don't run ads if I lose money on them. I'll just say that. So if I start losing money, I turn them
Turn them
off.
off.
I change the creative, change
And
the
okay,
strategy.
what product are you running Facebook ads to where you've had the most success? What kind of freebie?
Honestly, it's been a couple things. I do my right now, what has been doing really well for me is I have a reel that I put together on my Instagram that got a ton of um engagement. And so I put that as a Facebook ad, and it's only real. And that does awesome. I mean, I get so many signups just from this very simple reel of me making shredded chicken.
And then
I
what
mean,
is the call
it's
to action? What do people do? Well, they watch the reel and then
okay. The call to action is I put together, so my Reset and Flourish planner, my membership, I have the opportunity to create meal plans very quickly. And so I did a quick meal plan with 5 of my favorite meal starter recipes. And that also includes prep ahead tips and a shopping list. I mean, that was it. And then I just give that. So that is, yeah, so that's the freebie for that reel that's going out. And then when they click on it, they download it, they get the tripwire. But I will also say, if you're going to, and I know we don't want to really talk too much about Facebook ads, but if you're going to run Facebook ads, or honestly, any type of lead generation, you have to have a good funnel on the back end, because not everybody is going to buy your tripwire, because they're just like, well, I just met you. I just want this freebie, but you will have people who that do buy it. But your email funnel, now you need to go into nurture mode. And one of the strategies that I use and I also teach is my nurture to sales method. And so you want to nurture, but you also want to show them that you have these paid solutions that can really truly make a difference in their life. It can help them. All those things that you talk about, the different, make them money, make them healthier. I can't think of all of them at the top of
Yeah.
my head, but I listen to everything you say.
Oh,
But yeah, so all of those different things, but you also want to prove in your email funnel that you are the expert. You are trustworthy. You are the authority. So all these things that we try to do with our food blog for Google, you can do those same things for email, but you're doing it in a way that you're not doing it for Google. You're doing it to nurture your audience. You're saying like, thank you for joining my email list. Like, here's how I can help you. And now you're going to sell to them again.
one thing that, okay, a couple things that jump out at me listening to your story. One, you are a creative thinker. So you're constantly going, what else can I test? What can I try? I'm going to do this challenge or I'm going to write this ebook. And so I have to give you props for that. And you seem
Thank
to be
you.
very good at repurposing stuff you've already created. You take the
Mm-hmm.
old ebook that you put together in 2000 and what, and you kind of give it a facelift and go, hey, the content in here is good. I'll just do something in Canva, make it look prettier. And so
Mm-hmm.
I love that you are continually slicing and dicing what you've already created and being creative in how you repackage it. So I just want to say props to you, and that it is the creative thinker who I think really succeeds because you're asking yourself, what else can I offer my people? And the second thing that I have now seen as I talk to people like you is this shift from I create content for Google, for Pinterest. It's almost like it's page views,
Mm-hmm.
it's numbers, it's not people. And I was on a call this last week with a woman who, again, old school blogger like you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And we start talking, and she's a homeschooler. And she
Mm-hmm.
starts talking about wanting to sell digital products. It starts there. And then we
Mm-hmm.
start talking about the problem she's solving, which is, hey, would homeschooling be right for me, especially if I hadn't even thought about it, but somehow my kid is not thriving and I need to find another alternative or solution? Would this be something I could do? And as we start talking about the solutions that she can offer, I saw her start to get excited. And she says
Mm-hmm.
to me, this is the most excited I have been in my business in so long because I had been spending my time doing exactly what you were talking about: SEO, keyword research, creating stuff that Google's telling me I need to create. And all of a sudden, the idea that there's a mom there going, oh no, my kid just got a diagnosis, or somehow school is not working for my kid, but I could be there for this other mom and help her through this journey to figure
Mm-hmm.
out what the best path is for her family, for her kid. We're talking about things like self-care for people who are running, homeschooling. Like, how do you take care of yourself? Or what are the positives? Or what are the challenges? And she lit up in a way that was so interesting to see. And you're speaking about that same thing. All of a sudden, it went from page views to these are people in my challenge that I am helping get healthy. They are
Yes.
thanking me. They are saying, Tammy, I appreciate this. I feel better. You're getting all these testimonials. And I feel like it lit her up. And when you're talking about this shift, it feels like it did the same thing to you.
100%. I was actually writing, I'm like feverishly writing stuff down as you're talking because you're unlocking all this stuff in my head. First, let me say, digital products made me love food blogging again. And it lit me up 100% because, again, being on that grind of SEO. But once I started to see the real people that I was working with and helping, and it completely changed my whole perspective on my business. And it truly made me just love food blogging again. And also, I just want to mention too, because and thank you for saying that, being creative and testing new things. I'll also say I have never, not one time, worked in my business without being in the chaos of children, family, and everything. I started my business when my kids were little and all through, I mean, now one's in college. So they were 3 and 5 and one's in college. I've gone through life trying to manage this business, and my business supports my entire family. So if my business loses money, my family loses money. So I have to constantly be making sure that my business is doing the best it possibly can be. But the whole running my business when my kids were younger, I've learned how to work in the margins of my day. I've
Mm.
learned how to time block. I've learned how to be very focused, even though I'm not naturally a focused person. So I just wanted to mention that. And I also, with talking about writing for Google and SEO, one of the things that I believe in and that I talk about with other food bloggers is never feel like we should just throw away SEO practices. Obviously, SEO is important. You believe that too.
I do.
My thing is that so what I say is if you're going to put content on your blog, you of course want to use best SEO practices, but you have to get off of that grind. I mean, if you're not seeing the needle move forward, or you're doing all these like little nuanced things instead of taking a block of time and really focusing on pivoting to a digital product strategy, and your time is limited, I just don't think that's the best use of your time. So I think do SEO, keep it where you're doing, the best practices, but I think we just need to get out of those rabbit holes. You know what I mean? Of SEO and that grind that's exhausting. You're not connecting with your audience like you should be connecting with them. And I think it just really takes your time away from the things in your business that I think, like digital products, that are going to be essential for your success and growth moving forward. So I definitely just wanted to say those things as it pertains to what we were just talking about.
So
Um,
here's what I want to say, which is let's wrap this up, and then I want you to come back with
mhm,
actual strategies to go, okay, person, food blogger, here's where I would start. Knowing what you know, where, like, to give them the shortcuts to get to, say, where you are, which took you years
mhm,
and years and years to learn, so that
mhm,
we can have a plan to go, all right, follow this. Here are all the shortcuts. Here's how to think about your business. Here's when to bring in Facebook ads, when to bring in the membership, all of that. So what I want to do is, for people who want to learn more from you, reach out, see what you're doing, where should they
mhm.
go? And then I want to ask if you'll come back on to get into the nitty-gritty strategies that have worked for you.
Oh, 100%. Anytime, I wouldn't be where I am today if other business owners did not share their knowledge. And I mean, pull back the curtain and really mentor me and coach me. And I want to do that for other food bloggers. I've been in this since 2011. I'm on the back end of my career, and I'm looking moving forward to really send the elevator down and help
Hmm.
people just kind of get, if they want to be a food blogger specifically, because that's my expertise, this is how I want to help them build out their business and specifically their digital product strategy, because I really think focusing on the constant grind of traffic and advertising revenue, that is going to be a thing of the past.
And
I think, yeah,
well, I was going to
no, go
say,
ahead.
remember, look at the world right now. AI,
Yeah.
AI content makes
Hmm.
content less valuable.
Hmm.
What
Yeah.
becomes more valuable is you, is Tammy, is Jillian. It's, hey, I'm sure people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, I can't wait for part two to hear what
Yeah.
Tammy has to say. You could probably go to YouTube, go to Google, go to ChatGPT and get all of that information. But
Hmm.
it's because it's coming from you, or what, I'm sharing the knowledge of what I am seeing work for other people, that then people go, hey, I like her. I want to
Hmm.
learn from her. And that becomes your special sauce. I want, say, dieting tips and tricks from Tammy because she seems like she knows what she's doing. And I want
Yep,
that support and I want that connection. So that
absolutely.
is okay. So Tammy, how can people reach out to you in the interim before we do our part two?
Well, they can definitely reach me at tastydigitaleats.com, especially if if they're a food blogger and they're looking for help with their digital product strategy on that level. And of course, Reset and Flourish. They can find me there on Instagram. But Tasty Digital Eats, you can find me on my website. Tasty Digital Eats on Instagram. And I run ads. So if you're a food blogger, you might see some Tasty Digital Eat ads going through. But yeah, that's the best way to contact me for just help as a food blogger with digital products.
So I have to say, I love because again, you are an open book and you're
Hmm.
there to share what's worked, what hasn't worked. And so I'm super excited to have you back on the show where we can go deep on the different strategies that you recommend for food bloggers to shift their businesses so that
Yes.
they can find that joy again.
Yeah. Would you mind if I mention just one more thing
Sure.
I just want to say really quickly, as far as algorithms, with the helpful content update and all of that. I was bracing myself when that update came down the pipeline, and my blog was not touched at all through the helpful content update and through the March update. And like I said, I don't get huge amounts of SEO traffic, but I did not get slammed. And as I listened to other SEOs, specifically the one you did with Lily Ray and on that podcast, it is very clear to me that having a digital product branch of your business shows Google that you are serving your audience on a different level than just doing SEO to bump up your page views for ad revenue. I truly believe I didn't start my digital product for any type of SEO benefit, but how I'm seeing this as my blog now has not been slammed by those algorithms, I can only think that it's because I have now this larger digital product strategy that I've been building out for 2 years, and Google sees that. So I just wanted to add that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, no,
throw that
no.
in,
I
but
think that is super insightful. Really. So Tammy, I've so enjoyed this. And
yes,
I'm
me too.
literally, as soon as we get off, I'm going to send you my calendar to book your next time to come on so we can talk strategy. But I just want to
Okay.
say, I feel like you are this breath of fresh air. So for those of you who are food bloggers or other kinds of bloggers and you're struggling, there are new, different, interesting ways that can re-energize you to grow your business.
100%. I
So,
agree.
Tammy, thank you so much for coming on the show and for doing part one.
Thank you. I am so honored that you had me. I love your podcast and I look forward. I'm an open book. Anything you want me to talk about, I am willing to talk about.
I hope you guys like this episode. I love Tammy's spirit, and I especially loved when she said that when she started selling digital products to her audience, she felt that deeper connection and it really reinvigorated her. I cannot tell you how often I hear that, especially from the bloggers who are feeling really disillusioned right now. Starting to sell your own expertise can shift everything. And I'm very excited for Tammy to come back on the show to share her exact strategies. If you want to get on a free 20-minute Zoom call with me to talk about your digital product strategy. This is going away, by the way. I am going to be phasing out these calls. So if you're interested in getting fresh eyes on your business, go to milotree.com. You'll see a link to my calendar. Book a time. I'd love to help reinvigorate you. And if you think this episode is useful, please share it with a friend. If you are liking the podcast, please give it 5 stars on iTunes. I would be so appreciative. And I will see you here again next week.